Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Yahushua, that belong us unto the elder apostles, a great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 27, titled Israel to be delivered. Right? So the Israelites are going to be delivered. That's this chapter. Title. Isaiah chapter 27, verse 1. In that day, Yahweh, with his sore and great and strong sword, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent. And he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Now you might think if you read this, it's talking about the actual animal Leviathan. Now, according to the scriptures, there are actually like 3 Leviathans. You have one in 2nd Ezra. You have one in 2nd Ezra chapter 6. And then you have another one in... Where was that again? Oh yeah, Job. Chapter 41. And that's the 3rd one, if I'm correct. Maybe there's 4, but for now I'm keeping it at 3 because I'm thinking about the 4th one, but I can't find it in my head, so sorry. If it's I don't even know if it's there, but I thought I had one. But anyway, let me just focus on the 3 that I know. So 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 48. Now this is also from here. This is also Genesis chapter 1. You can find this in Genesis chapter 1. This here from 38 until 47. Okay, so I'm read on, and it explains a little bit about Genesis chapter 1. Okay, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 48. For the dumb water, dumb means unable to speak. That has nothing to do with being stupid, even though nowadays it's associated with somebody being stupid. Because if for example, if a person speaks another language, especially when you go to America and all over the world, it's not just America, but I'm giving you an example of a fact that when you go there and you don't speak English good, then they're going to look at you like you're stupid, and they're going to talk to you like you're stupid. Like, are you understanding the words coming out of my mouth? Stuff like that, right? They're going to talk to you like you're stupid. They're going to talk slow and stuff because they think you're dumb because you can't speak that language, even though you can speak. But people that can't speak, a lot of people associate them with being stupid because they cannot speak, right? So that's what they're doing nowadays. But dumb literally means, it doesn't mean temporarily. It just means unable to speak. It also doesn't necessarily means unwilling to speak. It just means this, man. It just means they say in the German it's dumb, but it's not stupid. I just explained it like dumb. It's in the Dutch also dumb. It's not stupid. It just means mute. That is what it means. A dumb person, like a dumb dog. Dogs that can't bark, they're silent, like the D in Django. For the dumb water, so the unable to speak water, and without life, brought forth living things at the commandment of the Heavenly Father, that all people might praise thy wondrous works. That because we do come out of the water, but we come out of the ground underneath the water. You know, because when you have a semen, you put it in the womb of a woman, and the semen is water, and then it goes into the womb, it stays there, and then when she is about to give birth, because women don't give life, they give birth, because the seed is already alive enough for it to swim into the womb, and then it grows limbs there and stuff like that, head and all that there. And then when it comes out, before it comes out, her water broke, and the water comes out because you're underwater the whole time, you know. So you're in water, incubating in water, and that's the same way that we were created by the Heavenly Father. So now, if you ask yourself, did the first people that the Heavenly Father created, did they have umbilical belts or something like that? You know, the navel thing. Navel. Did they have that? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. if you think about it, it wouldn't be there though. But I don't know, man. This is just something to think about. That's not really 100% big deal. It's fun to have in your head, but anyway. 49. And didst thou ordain 2 living creatures? So out of the water, the Heavenly Father created 2 living creatures. And by the way, if you go to the book of Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 1 verse 20, it explains it right there. Let me go here. Genesis chapter 1 verse 20. So on the 5th day is when the Heavenly Father created man and beasts and birds and stuff like that and fishes. It says here, Genesis 1 and 20, and the powers said, let the water bring forth abundantly the moving creature that had life. So what is a creature? 1 Corinthians chapter 15, oh no, verse 5, chapter 5 verse 17. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17. Therefore, if any man be in Yahushua, Messiah, this word is Messiah, he is a new creature. So that means you're a creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. So the old creature, basically you are a creature. Whether you are a new creature, old creature, or just a creature, you're a creature. So let the waters bring forth abundantly, so many, the moving creature that had life. So everything comes from out of the water because it's moving around, whether it be insects, animals, man, birds, and all that there that had life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heaven, which is also water, because is there? Yes, there is always water in the atmosphere. Clouds, of course, and clouds are, of course, the most visible manifestation of atmospheric water. But even clear air contains water in particles that are too small to be seen. And that's 100%. We are actually, what I just did right there, I actually breathed water, but it's so small that it doesn't choke you. So when you go above the firmament, into the second heaven, which is above the firmament, which is space, you can't breathe there. That water is too thick, but it's invisible. That's why they say space ship, like a spaceship, for example, because it's actually in the water. That's why you see, I don't know if you noticed it, but you have always these, let me see. You have always these movies and these cartoons where they would actually put whales in space, just these creatures, because they know that it's kind of like water over there. That's why you fly or float. You could say float. Birds do the same thing, and because they're light enough. And also people that, of course, worship devils, they fly too. And you have also underwater. Yeah, that's the other water that you also cannot breathe. So we are the earth is in the water and out of the water, as it says right here. So verse 6, and the power said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And the powers made the firmament, which is the ozone layer, and divided the waters which were under the ozone layer from the waters which were above the ozone layer. And it was so. So the waters above the firmament is waters. That's what everybody calls space. Well, Esau actually did that, because back in the days it used to be waters. And then the heavens under the firmament, which is the one that we can breathe in. You can see, you can fly with planes and stuff, helicopters and stuff like that. That's the waters that is under the firmament. So the earth is in the water. So the earth is in the waters and out of the water. So it's like this. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 5, it says, for this they are willingly ignorant of, that by the word of the heavenly Father the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the waters and in the water. So it's out of the water and in the water. So what does it mean? Oh no, it's rather. Wait, let me see. Okay, cool. This one. That's what I want. So the earth is standing here, sorry. And the earth standing out of the water and in the water. So it's out of the water, but it's in the water. It's because space is water. So, but it's out of the water, meaning it doesn't have water like underneath the firmament. So it's out of the water, but it's in the water. It's like if you take a tennis ball, the insides of a tennis ball is empty, right? Okay, we are there. There's where we are. And then the outside of the tennis ball, if you put that underwater, tennis ball underwater, that's Earth. This is Earth, basically. This is Earth. Earth is in the waters, but it's outside of the waters because in the inside of it, there is no water there. And that's where we are. We are underneath the firmament that is in the and the planet is in the midst of water. You know, it's like a egg. Egg, not egg in pan here. That's what I want. You have this one. This is the Earth, and the white part is space. So we are here in the white spot, but we are not in the whiteness because we are in the yellow. Because you can breathe here in this sphere, like the tennis ball. You can breathe there. You can breathe in here inside, but as soon as you go outside of this, that's in the lake, like in the pool that I just showed with the dog and stuff like that. Yeah, I hope I explained that good. So let me go on. Now it says here, okay, going back to over here. So that had life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. So the birds, they can fly in the open firmament, which is actually, they're swimming. Actually, if you think about it, they're actually swimming. When you're flying, you're swimming. Actually, because you're surrounded by water that you can't really touch. But you can actually have a water. How does this work? A water atmospheric, atmospheric water generator uses a cocktail of salts to pull water out of the air. That's what you do. That's what it does. Because there's water in the air, but this machine has salt in it. And let me see, Moses West. His machine was vandalized. Why? Because he brought water to people from the air. And then, of course, his machine was vandalized because the elites don't want that. He went to Michigan Flint to bring them water. A man named Moses West. And he gave them water. And they vandalized his machine because this was the time of Flint. I'll leave the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Let me see. Moses West turns air into water, providing clean, safe drinking water for Michigan Flint at that time. It was a few years ago. This was just 1 year ago. But he was already busy. He brought it also to South America. But think about it.
According to the
why don't these companies, of course, the answer I already know is like a stupid question, but still, why don't these people make this for all the people up on the planet Earth? They have money. I mean, this is one single man, and you could just give people free water, basically. clean water at that. You might charge them or something like that. But anyway, but I'll be like, not according to the garbage water that we get in the faucet, because that's sewer water recycled. This is air water. But then again, you might say like, yeah, but there's chemtrails in the air. Yeah, that's true, but it's still better than drinking pussy blood, you know, because that's what you're drinking. Because everything that you ever puked or flushed down the toilet, you puked, you flushed everything, that's what you're drinking back again. Oh, so yeah. And if you go to a region where they don't have a lot of chemtrails, well, the water is there more cleaner and is natural. But anyway, going on. So, verse 21, here it comes. And the powers created great whales that also come out of the water, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And the powers saw that it was good. And also winged fowl are also insects and stuff like that, because they're called fowl also. In, I think it was Leviticus chapter 11. So you might get confused and be like, because it says here that you have, okay, every flying creeping things, that's obviously insects. But it says here, let me see, the locust after his kind, and where is it? All fowls that creep. See? So let me read it again. Sorry. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 20. And all fowls that creep. See? What is a fowl? A fowl is actually a bird. But what bird do creep? None of them. You have flightless fowls. You have flightless birds. But it's not talking about that, because if you read on, it's going to explain. All fowls that creep, going upon all four. So what fowls have 4 legs? None of them. Well, that I know of. Fowls have 4 legs. Let me see. It's not taught. Well, you do have this one. you do have this one, but I'm not even. This is so-called the dinosaur, but think about it. You have this one, yes, but the other fowls is talking about insects. It says here, all fowls that creep, going upon all fours, shall be an abomination unto you. Yet these may ye eat of the flying creeping. See, the flying creeping fowls thing that goeth upon all fours. What is that? Which have legs above their feet to leap without upon the earth. And what flying creeping thing have legs above their feet to leap? A spring con. No, not that one. It's bullshit. It's this one. He has legs above his feet. So you can eat this. I don't want to eat it, but it's lawful. But you can eat it. You know, so yeah. That flying fowl or flying creeping thing, you can eat. And talking about the fowls that creep, and then I saw the dinosaur. Well, if you go to the book of Genesis chapter 1 again, Genesis chapter 1 verse 20, it says, 21, and the powers created great whales, and every living creature that moveth. So in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 21, it says whales. Now you get to think about the whale that swallowed Jonah. But anyway, I clicked on the word whale, which is Hebrew 8:577. Hebrew 8:577. It says here dragon or dinosaur. What were dragons called before? They were called, what were dinosaurs? What did I type in? What did dinosaurs call before? They said they called them dragons. When is the word dinosaur? When come into use? These devils did it. They here, 1842. The earth is not 18,000 years old, nor 2025 years old. We on 2025 right now, right? Wrong. We are in the age that they say we are. His history is written by the conqueror, not the conquered. So we are not in 2025. We're somewhere else. Even that is a lie. So a dinosaur is a dragon. That's the original word. Just like how they switched the rainbow. If you ask the children that are born in the 80s, around the 90s, and also in the 90s, if you ask the children there, what does the rainbow mean? They're going to tell you, oh, it's a biblical thing from Noah and all that type of stuff. Okay, if you ask the children from 2010, yeah, if you ask them, like, what is the rainbow? They will say it's Skittles, people. So they changed it. That's the point. Same thing with the dragon. So that this is not far-fetched. So, but I'm not going to talk about this. Fiery, that's a flying serpent. By the way, this is a flying dragon. What they call a flying dinosaur, that's another form of a flying dragon. You had the other ones that breathe fire. That's Leviathan. Let me get back to where I was actually. Okay, so now going back to over here. 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 48. 48. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of the Heavenly Father, that all people might praise thy wondrous works. Then didst thou ordain two living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, and the other Leviathan. So what is the word Enoch? Enoch means, the word Enoch, what does it mean? Dedicated, trained, disciplined. Dedicated. So you look up the word dedicated. What does that mean? Devoted to a task or purpose. What purpose? Here, consecrated. Consecrated to what? Devoted to a task or purpose. So what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life? Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Heavenly Father and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. This is the whole purpose of you, to serve the Heavenly Father. I have, of course, seen people talk nonsense saying, how can a God just create us just to worship him? Is that our purpose in life? Yes. And actually, no. Your purpose in life is to serve the nation of Israel and serve the Heavenly Father. But you're going to serve the nation of Israel because the earth is made for the nation of Israel. As it is written here. 2 Ezra chapter 7, verse 10. And I said, it is so, my Lord. Then said he unto me, the Heavenly Father spoke through the angel to Ezra, even so also is Israel's portion. Why? Because for their sakes I made the world. So what is the duty of life? What is your purpose? To serve the nation of Israel. Everybody is serving Esau right now. Do you have a social security number? You're getting taxed, and therefore you're paying them. Money is going to them. If something costs 10 euros or $10, there's a tax upon it. And they take maybe $1 or something like that, or something. I don't know exactly, specifically different prices in different places and stuff like that. But the $10 thing is now going to cost you maybe $12 or something like that, or maybe 11. I don't know. Like I said, it depends on the place that you are in. Those little monies, little dollars, those extra pennies, $2 or €2, whatever, goes to somewhere. Where does it go? It goes into someone's pocket. So you're paying them, whether you like it or not. So you're living for them. You're living to work for them. You're living to serve for them. That's my point. So once the Israelites come in power, you're going to do the same, but it's going to be in righteousness. You know, because first and foremost, we're slaves. Descendants say, you never paid us. So you're going to pay once that time comes. The rest of the world hates us too. So you're going to pay. Anyway, so you're dedicated, devoted, consecrated. Man is consecrated. Especially the Israelites are consecrated, means set apart. So that is what the word Enoch means. Trained, we are training the ways of life. For example, here in the book of 2 Ezra chapter 3, you have verse 20. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart. From whom? From the Israelites. Verse 19. And thy glory went to 4 gates, of fire and of earthquake and of wind and of cold, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and diligence unto the generation of Israel. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. So that's why we're not perfect, because we had that wicked heart from where? From the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart transgressed. He broke the law and was overcome. That's why in Revelation chapter 2 it says that he that overcometh, to him will I give power over the nations. So we need to overcome all the nonsense that's upon the planet Earth, especially the nonsense within you. You know, the sin that is continually in you. And so be all they that are born of him. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people, with the malignity of the root, persistent. You're persistent in sinning against the Lord. You're persistent in doing evil stuff. Intense ill will, that's what you have. Desire to harm others, that's what you have, especially if somebody harms you. Most of the time you want to harm them back or whatever. And basically you need to fight against those things. Might be hard, might be not hard. It depends on actually how you actually do it. Like if you really sit back and be like, what am I doing? Then it's going to be easier. But if you really be like, fuck this shit, then then you know, but let me go on. Then it's going to be harder. Malignity of the root, so that the good departed away. The ones that the softer voice in your head is always going to be softer, and if you keep on listening to the harder one, it's going to go away. But Lord willing, it stays going on, and the evil abodes still. So this is what we need to overcome. This is a learning thing. This is a training thing, and we have been failing at it for 6,000 years, something like that. You know, since the creation was made. Which the earth, it took 6,000 years to make, and then 1,000 years rest. And then history goes back for like 4,000 BC. So if you check about it, on the fifth day is 5,000, and then add it on, and then you see history from Esau, but he's a liar. But anyway, the Egyptians, they're going back to 4,000 BC. Okay, so then from 4,000 BC until 0 is then 4,000 years, of course, and then from 0 to 2025 is like 2,000 years extra. So that's already let me see, 4, 5, 6. That's already 6,000 years there. 6,000 years of history upon the planet Earth, from the Egyptians until now. And then the Earth was made in 6,000 years, and 7,000 was rest. So the Earth is about what 12,000. Something like that. 13,000. I would say between 14 and 12,000, because in the time of Esdras, he said that 10,000 years have already passed. Ezra said that. He said 10,000 years have already passed. So I would think that we are now in 12,000 or 12,000 something, 13. Like I said, I would say between 12,000 and 14,000. That's what I say. I could try and be a little bit more accurate, but I'm not going to try. It's not even worth it. But to be accurate, I'm not even going to try. I did try, actually. I did try, but I'm not that good with numbers, and I'm happy about that to a certain degree, because it doesn't matter. To some people it does, but let me just give you the suggestion. It's about 12,000 something plus years. That's it. It's not more than 14,000. I'll tell you that. Right. So, okay, that's the word Enoch, because we are training and we are learning and we are serving the Heavenly Father, and we need to be disciplined. That's why the Lord disciplines his people, correction and stuff like that. Proverbs 11 and 3 and 11, sorry. Showing a controlled form of behavior or way of working. Animals don't have that. If you go into a place of an animal, he kills you. He didn't murder you. He kills you because you are in his territory, and you can't have a logic conversation with him like, yo, I didn't know you was living here. I was just walking through because, or I was just trying to get some fruit or whatever, stuff like that, and he killed you on the way. A person, when the person sees you and you're trespassing, if they shoot you without saying, hey, what are you doing here? It's private property. Oh, I didn't know. Get out of here. And then you leave. A lion doesn't do that. Neither does a wolf or any other animal, like an insect that is a deadly insect. He's not going to warn you. Some might, You know, like a snake might make a sound, hey, you know. And if even if you tell them like, look, I'm not trying to hurt you, I just want to touch your pretty scales, you're gonna die. It's not working like that, you know. So yeah, basically man is Enoch. That's man. That's the definition of man. So the one thou callest man, Enoch, which is learned, and also oh yeah, it's also learned somewhere. Enoch means learned man. Here, Enoch means learned. Let me see. Dedicated Enoch in Hebrew. Dedicated, trained. What was this? Dedicated. Trained is learned, if I'm correct somewhere. Instruct. We're also instructed, but no. Nope. Here, learn, man. We're learning. It's a learning experience. Train, develop, and improve. So we're supposed to improve upon the second Esdras thing, because I think I clicked that away. But the second Esdras thing, where it says that we have evil within us, that when we were overcome by that, and then now we should overcome it. We should also overcome corruption. You're not going to do that. That's why Yahushua came, in order for us to still be forgiven. And then 1 Corinthians chapter 15 explains to you that this corruption must become incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. And then we will be that, because the wages of sin is death. So we're learning, right? Okay, so that's okay. That's a Enoch. So then didst thou ordain two living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, and the other Leviathan.